safety Jerrick Reed is with us. Jerrick, how are you, man?
I'm doing good, man. Blessed, highly favored. Just excited to be back out here on this field to support and add value to this team.
Well, we're happy to have you back. What was that? How frustrating was that time? The last game you'd played prior to last week was back on the 19th of November, so almost a year since you were able to step onto that field. What was it like for you?
Man, it was a journey. It's probably one of the hardest hardships I went through my whole life, and I don't think it happened for no reason. I think it's a part of my journey. It's God getting me ready for something bigger than myself or anything I've imagined, to make sure that I'm ready to handle whatever in store for me. And it was a journey. I had to work hard, had a great group of people around me, making sure that I kept my head on straight. My mental was good. My energy was always great. And a year later, here we are.
Yeah, it sounds like you got the right attitude, Jerrick. Tell us what was the one thing that you learned the most from having had that injury and suffering that kind of adversity?
Just taking everything literally day by day, being consistent in everything that you do from the time you wake up to the time you go back to sleep. If you say you're going to do something, you say you're going to prepare a certain way, you're going to get up and go here at this time, be there at this time, make sure you do that. And you got to do that every single day, because anybody who has a injury or had to do rehab knows that it doesn't get better overnight. And given my injury, it took me 8 to 10 months to get back right. So just doing the same things, doing everything that's required of me every single day, locking in on those moments, those small moments, and not thinking about the big picture per se, is really one of the biggest things I learned from this whole journey.
Had you gone through any sort of injury or rehab process at the college level?
Little nicks and bruises, like, a rolled ankle,
Right.
Bone bruises, stuff like that. But just any major surgeries, no, this was my first time ever being under anesthesia other than my wisdom teeth.
Wow.
So just being cut, having ligaments sewed back together, bone graft moved. Nah, I've never had anything like that before.
So did you talk to other teammates that may have gone through things like, hey, how did you handle this rehab? How did you, what was your mindset? Did you seek advice from other guys on the team?
Of course, I asked a million questions from a lot of different people. I had 2 different doctors I was talking to make sure their procedures are what I wanted. I wanted them to take the right tendons. I wanted my patella. I didn't want no quad or hamstring. Like I checked all the boxes that me and my medical team and my agent and my family all talked about. I asked former players like DK had his injury in college. He showed me his story, told me how he did it, how he recovered. Talking to, already burns towards ACL. So it's like guys around this building, guys away that I rehab with back in Texas. I was asking everybody who ever dealt with an injury, how did you go about it? What was your things and pros and cons about it? And I just used that in my journey.
Yeah, I had that same surgery, Jerrick, and it seems like it's stronger, right? I mean, the patella tendon actually is something that's a little bit stronger than your regular ACL. So you can come back even better than before, right?
No, 100%. Just going through my training with Grant Steens here at the facility. Just the workouts we've been doing since I got back. My catapult numbers on a regular are back in my average from last year, and on my best days they're faster than my best days last year. So just off that originally, last week I had clocked the fastest miles per hour on the whole team. So that just goes to show that, one, my doctor did a great job with the procedure, and my medical staff that helped me rehab did a great job getting me back out there as well. So everything's good. No complaints, no hitches. We full go.
Well, not to harp on your injury. We'll move on to football here in a moment. But it's interesting in talking to players over the years that are coming back from injury. And my co-host, who you're speaking with, was in the NFL for almost a decade, had injuries, and they all kind of say, yeah, the rehab, it's physical therapy, it sucks, it's boring, it's brutal. But the hardest part is the mental challenge, trusting your injury, trusting, hey, I can plant and cut and do everything I could before, where you're just not even thinking about it. What was that part of it like for you?
At first, I was hesitant, because nobody wants to, because a long injury like this, you go so long with trying to build it back up, get the strength back. You don't want to go back out there and first day go full speed and re-injure that. So, you want to just tiptoe back into the field of play, but just having the people around me giving me that confidence. Like my PT back in Texas, Keisha, it was days where she was worried about certain drills, not knowing if I can do it or not. But instead of showing that, she just told me, hey, you can do this. Just point blank, you can do this. And I go out there and I do it with no hesitation. And now, oh, you really can do this. And so it just took those days of just going out there, not thinking too much and just sending it, honestly, just going out there and just putting it at risk. And if I can't trust it now, I can't trust it later. So might as well just get it out the way now.
Jerrick, you're listed at 5'9", 196, and then when you got drafted, you said, I'm putting on for the short guys, showing them that we're players too, and we can compete with
100%.
any size
Anybody
guys
on the field. Yeah,
I love that, and that's the thing. Number one that I love about football is you get all kinds of different sizes, but also, I always really admire the guys who are undersized a little bit, just because you got to play a little bit harder and you got to get kind of a chip on your shoulder, right?
Mm-hmm. You got to have that dog in you, man. You look at any, I won't even call it short, any 5'10", 5'9" guys in the league, your Buda Bakers, your Tyrann Matthews, your Amik Robinsons, your Jerrick Reeds, you just see our play and you can put us side by side and look equivalent. You got to have that certain type of dog in you, that certain type of energy, effort, and want to when you get on that field, because nobody cares if you're short, tall, big, fast. You just got to go out there and make plays.
Jerrick, looking at this defense, we've been talking a lot about, all right, what's going on with it? Is having a hard time stopping the run, being consistent, and certainly injuries are a part of that, as you know. But I'm just curious how comfortable it is. Like, I know you haven't been out there, but I'm sure you've been studying, looking at film, watching these games. Is it that complex of a defense? Is it that dramatic of a change from what you were doing to what you're doing now?
I would say 100% it is. It's very similar on the level of, like, we're going to play cover 3, cover 4, or cover 1. On that level, it's the same as last year. But as far as, like, the difficulty of learning, yeah, you have to be on you have to be in your playbook. You look at the teams that run this defense, the Ravens, Miami, Tennessee, and Seattle. You see the top defenses are the last two teams I named, the Ravens and the Seahawks. Why? Because Mike McDonald was on both of those teams. And the way he coaches his defense, the way he holds us to a standard of, if you want to be a great football player, you have to be smart and intelligent. I mean, any competitor, any guy who really truly want to be great loves that. I haven't heard anybody on this team complain about, oh, it's too hard, it's too tough, we need to simplify this, because everybody knows once you go play against a Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen, they can pick apart an easy, simplified defense. You got to be complex. You got to show different looks and move guys around, drop D linemen, blitz safeties, blitz corners. You got to give them new looks, because guys like the one we're going to face this week, Matt Stafford, they've been in the league for over a decade. They done seen it all. So you can't just line up and play football with those guys. You got to be able to show different looks, and that requires you studying your film more than you used to. So I appreciate it, because it's making you reach another level that you've never been on before. For a lot of guys.
Jerrick, tell us, getting into the Rams, what you see about their offense that stands out to you, and how they run it, and just the precision. I know that McVay is a really good coach. What do you see from that team?
Same thing, like we were just talking about defensively. I just see a great, organized, different picture offense. They do a lot of moving pieces pre-snap to give you a different look. But at the end of the day, they get lined up into the formation they want to run the ball out of or throw the ball out of. You just got to, like I said, watch film. Remember, with those certain formations, the top formation they like to do, the top plays. And really, you just got to limit Matt Stafford, because once he gets rolling, once he becomes more efficient and he has a rhythm, he can become very dangerous. So you just got to hit him, show him different looks and pressure, make him panic in the pocket, because once you do that, the ball starts flying a little bit too high, pick, or he's panicking, holding the ball too long, D-line get there, sack, fumble. So it really just showing different looks, sending pressure, keeping him on his toes, don't let him get comfortable the whole game. And everything else goes for there.
Jerrick, obviously every game you want to win. It's important to win. Is there a different urgency on this week because, A, it's a division opponent, B, you're coming off a game I think everybody wants to forget against the Bills, and then C, you got a bye week coming up, so last thing you want to do is kind of stew on a loss going into the bye week. So is there a different urgency to this game?
Honestly, yeah, it is. Just because, man, we haven't played consistently enough on a week-to-week basis on the level we want to play. You've seen spurts here and there, but it's more so, like you said, okay, we got a bye week next week. So nobody wants to, one, lose in general, but lose and have to sit with that for an extra week. So, boom, that's one thing. And two, it is a divisional game. And if we want to make it to the end goal, which is Super Bowl, we have to win our division. So that's why this game is a little bit more, But it's just like any other week. Go in there, prepare, focus on us and what we got to do, focus on our game plan, and go out there and show, one, the world, and us also the people in this building that we can be who we say we are.
Jerrick, not a lot of people from Olive Branch, Mississippi in the NFL, but KJ Wright happens to be one of them. Tell us about your connection with KJ.
It started back in high school when I was a fan. He was playing high school. I was younger. I was probably intermediate, middle school, I want to say. But just going to those Friday night games, watching him play. My older brother had a chance to, I think, freshman, 10th grade, was on the same team as KJ before he graduated. And so, like, just going to those games, I ended up running into his first cousin, Tiana. She played softball. My god sister, Maya, is a whole big connection there. And then we all, like, she was a year older than me, so we all grew up together, same city, different schools, and he always was around. And I knew of him. Our families knew each other. And then once I got to Seattle, we really just tapped in. You know, got his number, had dinner, went out a couple times, just shot the bird. He's just a cool guy. Even though he's on the opposite team right now, we're not really cool at this moment because of the season. But, you know, off season, you know, when we back home, I would love to get together and hold, you know, events at the Olive Branch High School. You know, he has a basketball game there. I want to host like a football camp sometime. I hope we can, you know, collab with that in the future. But, yeah, great guy.
I like that you're not cool right now, though. That's good.
Not at all. Not at all.
Jerrick, it's great to talk to you, man. Welcome back. Congrats on the rehab and just doing everything you need to do to get back out there and obviously much needed. And hopefully we're talking about a win after this week. You guys go into the bye week with a lot of positivity. So we're pulling for you, and we appreciate you, man. Thanks so much.
Of course. Yes, sir. Until next time. Y'all take care.